We've all been there, meeting someone who feels like destiny, yet for some reason you can't be with them. You didn't plan it, you weren't looking for it, and yet when they walked into your life, everything shifted. The timing is wrong, the circumstances are impossible, they belong to someone else, they live too far away, or life itself seems to conspire to keep you apart. And the strangest part, the harder you try to move on, the deeper the memory digs in. Songs remind you of them. Moments echo their presence. Even silence feels heavy with what could have been. It makes no sense. How can a connection so powerful be untouchable? Why would the universe allow you to feel something so profound, only to leave it unfinished? Here's the truth. The universe doesn't place these people in your path by accident. Carl Jung, one of the greatest explorers of the human psyche, believed they appear for very specific reasons. They are not random. They are not meaningless. They arrive with a purpose, to stir you, to challenge you, to awaken you in ways you never imagined. And in this video, we're going to uncover exactly why the universe sends you someone you can't be with, what it truly means for your journey, and most importantly, how you're meant to respond. Because by the end of this, you'll see that this was never punishment. It was initiation, not the end of a love story, but the beginning of your transformation. Reason 1, they awaken dormant parts of you. When someone enters your life and stirs feelings you thought were long gone, it's easy to believe they are the source of that fire. But Carl Jung would tell you, that spark was never theirs. It was always yours. Think back on your life for a moment. Maybe you've been moving through the world on autopilot, waking, working, repeating. Dreams you once held close had started to fade. Passions that once set your soul on fire had gone quiet. Life became practical, predictable, safe, and then suddenly, they appear, not forever, not in the way you wanted, but just long enough to shake you awake. You find yourself writing again, laughing harder, feeling music in a way you haven't in years. Even the world itself seems brighter, sharper, more alive. It feels as if they've given you this gift. But the truth is, they only revealed what was already within you. They awakened your creativity, your tenderness, your boldness, your hunger for life itself. That's why the pull feels so magnetic. Not because they carry your missing piece, but because they helped you remember you were never missing to begin with. And here's the twist most people miss. The pain you feel when they're gone is not proof that they took something away. It's proof that you now know what's possible within you. It's a reminder that your soul is capable of depths you had forgotten. And that energy is yours to claim, with or without them. So don't mistake the awakening for the awakener. They didn't give you your fire. They simply lit the match that showed you where it had been sleeping all along. Reason 2, they force you to face your shadow. Carl Jung said the shadow is everything within us that we avoid. The wounds we carry, the desires we suppress, the insecurities we try to hide. It's the part of ourselves we don't want to admit exists. And here's the painful truth. Impossible loves have a way of dragging that shadow into the light. That's why the connection feels so overwhelming. It's not just attraction, it's exposure. They see something in you that you've tried to bury, and suddenly you can't ignore it anymore. Maybe they make you feel insecure, like you're not enough. Maybe they awaken a hunger for intimacy you've denied yourself for years. Maybe they remind you of an old wound, a parent who was distant, a lover who abandoned you, a need that was never met. Whatever it is, they stir it. They touch the rawest parts of you, the parts you've avoided looking at. And this is where it gets dangerous because intensity tricks us. We think, I feel so strongly. It must be love. It must be destiny. But Jung would say, the stronger the pull, the more likely it's your shadow being exposed, not your soulmate calling. This is why impossible loves are unforgettable. They don't just leave a memory, they leave a mark on your psyche. Because through them, you're not just longing for a person, you're longing for healing. It's painful, yes, but it's also a gift. Because until your shadow comes to the surface, you can't integrate it. You can't grow. You can't become whole. So when someone impossible stirs your deepest wounds, it isn't cruelty. It's clarity. They weren't sent to complete you. They were sent to reveal the parts of yourself you've been too afraid to face. Reason 3, they disrupt your illusions. When you meet someone you can't have, your mind races to make sense of it. If I feel this strongly, it must mean they're the one. If only the timing were different, if only life were fair, then everything would fall into place. But Carl Jung would say this is where most of us get trapped, confusing intensity with destiny. The truth? This person didn't come to complete your love story. They came to shatter the illusions you've been clinging to. The illusion that someone else is the missing piece of your life. The illusion that fulfillment lives outside of you, waiting in another's hands. The illusion that love must look like possession to be real. Impossible loves are brutal because they leave no room for fantasy. You can't hold them. You can't claim them. You can't bend reality to make it work. And in that ache, you're forced to confront the hardest truth of all. They were never the source of your fire. They only reflected it. They were never carrying your wholeness. They only revealed it. It feels like loss, but it's actually revelation. Because when the illusion falls away, you begin to see yourself clearly for the first time. Yes, it hurts. But illusions always do when they break. And that's the point. Their role wasn't to give you what you wanted. It was to strip away the story you'd been telling yourself so you could finally wake up to what's real. Reason 4, they push you toward individuation. Carl Jung believed our highest calling is individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming whole. Not perfect, not flawless, but complete, integrating both the light and the shadow, the masculine and the feminine, the conscious and the unconscious. And here's the irony. Sometimes the people we can't have serve this journey more powerfully than the ones we can. Think about it. A stable, long-term love offers comfort, but impossible loves, they shake the ground beneath you. They pull apart your illusions, awaken your fire, and expose your shadow. They leave you raw, vulnerable, cracked open. And in that brokenness, something new is born. You start asking questions you never asked before. Who am I without them? What did they awaken in me that I didn't know was there? What within me needs to heal, to grow, to emerge? It feels like heartbreak, but it's initiation. Because individuation rarely comes through ease. It comes through disruption, through longing, through the ache of something unfinished that forces you to turn inward. This is why their absence matters just as much as their presence. Because the true purpose was never union with them. It was union with yourself. So when the universe sends you someone you can't have, it isn't a cruel joke. It's a summons, a push on to the path of becoming the person you were always meant to be. So when you think about the one who got away, remember this. They weren't sent to punish you. They weren't a mistake. And they were never meant to complete you. They came to awaken the parts of you you'd abandoned. They came to drag your shadow into the light. They came to shatter the illusions you were clinging to. And ultimately, they came to push you toward becoming whole. You see, the universe doesn't waste encounters. Even the ones that end in longing carry meaning, especially those. Because sometimes the most important people in your life are the ones who couldn't stay, the ones who leave you not with closure, but with a mirror. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." That impossible love, that unfinished story, that's your unconscious calling you to wake up. And maybe that was the purpose all along. Not for them to be yours, but for you to finally be your own. If someone came to mind while you were listening, drop a comment and share what they awakened in you. Your story might just be the mirror someone else needs.